But first, more on that 140 Boeing planes that have been grounded this morning after an Alaska Airlines flight made an emergency landing Friday when a door plug blew off the side of the plane mid-flight. It left a gaping hole. The Boeing MAX 9 jet was carrying 177 people, but no one was sitting next to the part that blew off. And miraculously, no one was injured. Last night, the NTSB said the Alaska Airlines pilot reported pressurization warning lights on 3 earlier flights on that very same plane.
I can just see the outside of the door plug from the pictures, the white portions. We can't see anything else. But we're going to go pick that up and make sure that we begin analyzing it.
More than 1,000 United and Alaska Airlines flights were canceled or delayed over the weekend. Joining me now with more on this is Mark Walker. He's an investigative reporter for the New York Times. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. You know, people saw those images of that hole in the side of the plane, and you just start thinking, what would I do if I was on that flight? Where do things stand now with the investigation into how this happened, and how important is it that this door plug has been located now?
Yeah, thanks for having me. The fact that the door plug's been located is a critical piece of evidence in this investigation. Obviously, they will be able to take that door plug and look at the bolts, look at all the pieces of that door plug, and now it's trying to make a determination as to what's going wrong. On the opposite end of the aisle, there's another door plug, so they'll also be able to sort of compare the door plug that was blown off with the one that still remained on the plane. And so in that way, they'll be able to try and compare and see like if there were missing pieces, if there were damage, to determine what actually went wrong when this flight took off.
So now we're learning that the pressurization warning light actually did go off 3 times on this very same plane before, and so much so that they had altered what they would allow the plane to do. It couldn't fly over water, couldn't do long flights. This is not like your check engine light going off and you go, I can make it home, it'll be fine, maybe it'll go off on its own. I think a lot of people would be surprised that this plane was allowed to fly at all.
You know, that's a big question for the Alaskan Airlines to answer right now. The National Transportation Safety Board pointed this out and said there was supposed to be some detailed inspection as to why these pressurization lights went off, but that work wasn't done prior to the departure of this flight on Friday. And so why this plane was still allowed to fly but had restrictions on it, that is a question that investigators are still looking into and have to get the Alaskan Airlines to answer.
All right, so investigators are doing their work. How long could it take until the FAA is satisfied that all types of Boeing 737 MAX 9s are actually safe to fly?
You know, this can take anywhere from weeks to months. I think the biggest priority for the Federal Aviation Administration is to make sure they get it right. Right now, they are working with Boeing to make sure that they refine the right set of instructions for airlines to use to go back and properly do a thorough check of these planes before putting any passengers on them in the future. And so I think it's not how quickly, it's just mostly how thorough these inspections are done before these planes are put back in service.
Yeah, you don't want anyone to rush this. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.